Welcome back to Slow Pitch City here in Dorchester for the SPO Miken Elimination weekend. And Steve, got to tell you, 3 runs there for the Aftershock in the second inning to even this game up at 3. The Naturals put up 3 in the first, but went 1-2-3 in the second inning. So got to think it's have the shortest memory possible and then get right back at the sticks.
Yeah. And we were talking about the lineups earlier, Ryan. And it's almost like you're playing the percentages. It's almost like you're going to the casino. So what's happening here with both these lineups as I look at them is there's some key players not in the starting lineup today. And the reason for that is because they're hoping they're going to get by this game, and those key players will jump in the starting lineup in the next game.
Yeah. Scott Foster grounds out there to first to start this third inning. I'm sure you think you better get better chances here playing slow pitch than you do at the casino, but that's why I stay away from it for the most part.
Matt Barrett, who's up the bat right now, he's a former Brock University baseball player. And a lot of these players who play in this division have had scholarships offered to them in hardball, have been drafted by Major League Baseball teams.
I know Mark was telling us there's a few folks, I think on the Naturals roster, that have seen that the prospects in Major League Baseball as well.
One ball.
I'm just excited to have an umpire with me, so that you from the player's position, we usually argue things and then get the sensible explanation to go along with it. Short hops out in right field, so that one stays in. Barrett, he had to slow up there a bit as Piawarchuk shoots that ball out to right field. Initially, the fielder thought about trying to get the giddy up going to get that, but elected to hold on and not let anything go by him. Again, playing the percentages, I would think there's Steve. Inside pitch here for Mike McLeod. That one's just deep, so McLeod in the driver's seat. We've seen him hit the ball out here. Strike 2 is the call, so a full count here to McLeod. Chop this ball. Middle infielder, no play to be made, and Barrett gets back in, scampers over to third. So everyone's safe, and the bags are loaded here for Dwayne Hamilton. The other thing, too, is some folks would see, depending on the park you play in, those magnetic bags can move around quite a bit.
Yeah, and when they do move around, it actually, the base stays where the magnet is. So if the base does go off the magnet, the player has the option of 2 places to be touching. He can be either on the magnet or he can go to the base that's misplaced.
Hamilton's just going to go hard to the left-hand side here. 2 come in to score. Hamilton, a hard single, but scores 2. Can't complain there.
I was just thinking what a difference from this Naturals team when they first broke into the division. When they first broke into the division, I'm guessing it's going to be maybe 8 years ago. I could be off by a year or 2, but they broke into the division. Cotton t-shirts, a bunch of young kids that nobody knew. The rosters changed dramatically over the years, and now they've become one of the top teams in the A division. And it's funny how things happen. A lot of these players, I don't know if you would call them friends with each other, but a lot of acquaintances through the game. And a lot of teams, they'll cut their bottom 2-3 guys every year and then pick up the other 2-3 guys.
Boise safe at first there, got good wheels coming down the line. Another run comes in to score, but the out is at second.
Yeah, this division, they almost treat it like a pro division. Players bounce around from team to team. You have former teammates playing each other all the time. But when the game is on, you would never know these guys are friendly with each other off the diamond.
You don't want anybody to know that they get along with a guy on the other side. Usually, I'd say that the first baseman, and speaking from a guy who plays a fair amount of first base, you usually get a chance to chit-chat a little bit more than maybe some other positions, as that is the third out here of the inning. So we take another look at it. It's Pete Babcock with a high shot to the right-hand side, and fielder comes in and calls off the second baseman for that third out. You'll see periodically in the exchange between innings, sometimes the guys that know each other maybe have a word, but nothing too extensive. But once you're off the diamond and guys are behind the backstop here, maybe having a few words and maybe a cold beverage or two. There's a couple of those fly around here on a weekend, don't they?
Right. And did Mark and you talk about how the Super Series developed and how it's gone forward throughout the years over your former broadcast?
A little bit, but I always like everybody's input, especially when it comes to...
So basically what has happened with the Super Series, slow pitch exploded on the scene locally in all these small towns, and it was easy to get tournaments together because there was a lot of slow pitch teams. But then as players developed, it got stronger, more divisions were formed, and then once you got into the higher divisions, especially in A, but now it's gotten to A, B, and C, there's not enough teams in the province to run local tournaments. So what Slow Pitch Ontario did was they formed this circuit called the Super Series, and all these A, B, and C teams know the schedule of the events, and they all gather here in London to play against each other, so then they can have enough teams to have a division for those teams. In the A division, I'm sure you guys spoke about it. The winner of the Super Series is granted a berth at the Canadian Championship. Here at the Eliminations, this is the elite event of the year, and the winner of this tournament has a berth at the Canadian Championship. The Canadian Championship takes place each year in August, and the winner of this elimination will go to next year's Canadians, which is in Quebec.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Everybody wants to make that big trip, that's for sure.
And it's just like everything. The athletes have gotten stronger and better. The equipment's gotten better. Like people who saw the A division playing 10 years ago and they see it today, there's a difference. These players are better athletes. The equipment is so much better. The ball is hit harder. I talk to fast pitch umpires quite often, and they're familiar with slow pitch, but mostly at a league level. When they see this division played, and some of them have come out to umpire it, and they realize how much of a hitter's game and how much action there is in it, they're quite surprised.
That's the one reason, too, is why we wanted to cover slow pitch here on Rogers TV was simply because to kind of maybe get rid of some falsification that, as you mentioned off the top, that some people think it's just the ball that guys play when they're a little beyond and just want to still play the game. It shows full well here on display this weekend as we're through 3, as you see there, 6-3 for the Naturals as they put up 3 runs in the inning, the top of the third anyways, and for them, they decent game so far, and you've seen just the sheer athleticism and talent that's on display here throughout the weekend. We've had obviously quite a bit of the men's A division. We've seen the ladies division as well, so a vast difference between the men's and the ladies games sometimes, but both definitely showing the talent across the board.
And Ontario has the most talent when it comes to men's A slow pitch. So for this Super Series circuit, and it goes, I believe it's 16 weekends throughout the summer, maybe 17 weekends throughout the summer, and it's different divisions. There's A, B, C. There's also a Masters division. There's a lot of activity here at Slow Pitch City here in London. And in the past, they used to bounce the Super Series events around from city to city. St. Catharines was used, Barrie was used, Windsor was used, but they ran into a little bit of a problem. with different parks being used because some of them were operated by the city.
Hard knock there in center field as the Aftershock center fielder there comes through. Take a look at this, makes the catch, and then runs into the fence full bore. I don't know if he even just knocked the wind out of himself on the way through there. He's up and making his way across. A chain-link fence will get you quickly, that's for sure. It's Keith Woodcock out there, and he's had a couple of guys so far in this game. And Brendan Beerworth earlier take the fence on the catch out in center and left field, so it's been a tough go for the Aftershock guys out in the field.
And to continue with my comment about the Super Series, the locations, Slow Pitch City is operated privately, where the other locations sometimes are operated by the city. And that put Slow Pitch Ontario in a position where they didn't have much control over weather when it came to the parks that were operated by the city. So sometimes tournaments were getting canceled.
High fly ball to left field here for Zimmer. That one's for the second out here in the inning. But it's definitely a spot where if you want it, you got so many games to get in a weekend. Take, for example, our situation Friday night. We were anticipating covering 2 games. We got the first one in. The second one, the rain started up, and that game was delayed for a good hour and change. Sometimes if you're in a situation of, as you say, municipally owned properties, they would just say, oh, rain's expected, shut it down.
And that happened 7 years ago to me, driving to Barrie for a Super Series event. I get a phone call. I'm from the Niagara area, and I'm driving to Barrie, and I get a phone call while I'm driving through Toronto telling me to turn around. The tournament's been canceled because of rain. That wouldn't happen if it's here at Slow Pitch City. They would try and delay as much as they can and try and get it in.
Floating to left center field. That one's picked up as Andy Dreyer just has a short fly ball to left field, as we'll get another look at it. And a nice move out in the middle infield to make that catch. It was Ryan Yakura, second baseman. Middle infielder here for the Aftershock. So 6-3 in the midway point of the 4th inning here, as we continue this game between the Naturals and the Aftershock. And as you mentioned, Steve, the fact that the beautiful facilities here at Slow Pitch City, and got to give hats off to Dave and his entire group here that have been great to us so far this weekend.
Well, it's funny listening to outsiders come into Slow Pitch City for the first time. A perfect example is the Canadian Championships were hosted here at Slow Pitch City last year. So when that happens, you always have umpires and players come into the park from other parts of Canada for the first time. And when they see this park layout for the first time, they're amazed. They love it. There's a lot of trees for shade. It's not a traditional layout any other ballpark you would see. Most ballparks you see now are wagon wheels with 5 diamonds in a circle, where this is an 8-diamond complex, and these diamonds are scattered in different positions. It's a nice layout.
Pat Severn here to center field. That one in the track, so a quick first out here. I know some have referred to the, especially Diamond 1 here at the Slow Pitch City, as the Fenway Park of slow pitch diamonds. I think a lot of people would take that as a very big compliment.
That's all of a sudden they get an email from
Derek McGrath here up for the Aftershock. That one hits the outside corner of the mat.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Pitch comes in. Chopper through the middle. That one's going to be a tough spot. Middle infielders collide. And doesn't look like there's going to be any extenuating injuries from that, but a tough spot here. The ball is literally in between the two, so they're both going to go for it. Single counts though for McGrath. He gets the single on the shot up the middle. Both guys going to readjust the sunglasses.
And it's not odd to see infielders collide or come close to colliding, because this division, for the most part, plays a loaded infield with the 5 infielders.
Keith Woodcock here, now that one's outside. That one through the left field side, just outside of the glove of Babcock at third for the Naturals. Ball comes in, and Woodcock will get a double on the play, moving Derek McGrath up to third. Nice play there, as that one was just outside of the reach of Babcock at third for the Naturals. He's able to snag that one. They may be able to turn that one around the horn.
Well, this would be a good situation for Robbie Lawrence to go yard here with 2 base runners on. He's done it earlier. We'll see if we can do it again.
That one got the truck.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Good news, the truck's okay. We just got word.
Robbie now has 2 strikes on him, so he's probably just going to go with whatever Chuck pitches to him.
High fly ball to center field. Both runners are tagging. Only one will advance. As McGrath comes home to score. Woodcock staying at second. 2 out here in the 4th.
Once the pitch is thrown, almost every player, including the umpires, know if it's the batter's pitch or not. And because we umpire these players so often, we know what they like to swing at. And once you know it's their pitch,
The eyes light up real big.
yeah, the eyes light up big. You know they're hitting the ball exactly where they want to hit it.
Daniel Lee here. Legal pitch is called, so
3 balls, 1 strike.
say the 6 feet to 12 feet rule in place, but that's also dependent on who the umpire is sometimes.
2 strikes.
As you mentioned earlier, Steve, just the different umpires have different eyes at that, what is 6 and 12 feet high. As Daniel Lee's going to draw a walk here.
And a lot of pitchers will work the arc as much as they can. And they'll even waste pitches because they want the batter thinking. They don't want to give the batter the pitch that he wants.
Especially if he's thinking a nice high pitch, you throw one in and try and just squeak that through that 6-foot territory and throw him off maybe.
And it's a fine line too. You almost don't want to throw an outside pitch to a batter who's got a lot of power, because when that happens, it's coming back to you up the middle.
And Hopper through the left side, that one gets in. As Daniel Lee makes his way over to third, Hopper will move up to second. Also scoring Keith Woodcock. So 2 runs in here in the inning for the Aftershock. Back to within 1 now. As we're in the bottom of the 4th, 2 out.
Babber, make me a play, kid.
Outside pitch, that one's tagged to second base and picked up and thrown on to first for the 3rd out here in the 4th inning. So at this point, it's a 6-5 game for the Naturals. We'll take a quick break and have the 5th for you next here on Rogers TV.